ebook Timeless Tweets 2000 of May 2021, which contains a commentary on life and over 2,000 tweets, is presented as videos in YouTube. This is one such video. Chapter 20. Whether from the birth of the sun to the birth of your son, and in fact all matters including even this simple video book, all are accidents or preordained, none for certain can tell. Prevention is better than cure. God could have applied this principle instead of the law of karma. Illness and cure are at opposite ends of the spectrum of health. The former may not be your making, and the latter not fully under your control. You cannot define or delineate God, nor can you doubt or deny Him. A person gets to be known as a soft personality if he always speaks only what is pleasant, avoids controversy, advises little, applauds liberally, condemns never, and meticulously keeps away from those with the opposite qualities. Public interest is not his forte. Some say that God is slow to act but sure to act. Poor consolation. When solutions are not in sight, illusion prevails and belief systems are born. We must learn to live with corona, it is said, that is like living with hunger, poverty, pain, and the like. Lucky seniors have left the planet before corona arrived. Their companions who have missed the bus stay put in their homes and live a guarded life, in constant fear of putting everybody around to avoidable trouble. People have died in millions many times before, as for instance in the 2 world wars and the Korean War, etc. And in poverty and epidemics like Spanish flu. So COVID-19 is just another catastrophe from which the world will emerge as ever, claim some. This is totally untenable. The world will continue as ever, no doubt. Not come to an end. We know. Actually, that will not be a problem at all. The continued existence of the world, with the likelihood of more and more misery of this kind visiting it, is the real problem. If you are placid, whether you float in bliss or are soaked in grief, you have reached the much sought after state of equanimity in life. There are more ifs and buts in life than things sure and certain. The world matters to a man only as long as he exists. After that, he may be somewhere or nowhere, that is not quite clear. So you're wanting your near and dear ones to live well after your time, is itself a mere wish. And to extend this to the whole world is far-fetched. Thanks to corona, lucky are those who stay put indoors due to old age, ill health, or immense wealth. During serious illness and old age, one must decide whether it is time to live beyond, or whether, considering all Circumstances, it is not time to leave the world behind, in which case, incidentally, all the pending problems in life will get written off. Everybody wants to be something. Some people want to become somebody very big. But the truly evolved may aspire to become nothing at the earliest hour, and never be anything thereafter. Corona makes a mockery of all belief systems, in that it belies concepts of right and wrong, just and unjust, good and bad, true and false, and cause and effect. It unleashes an avalanche of grief and terror on the masses, with little justification and without any provocation. Expectations are natural and necessary, as there can be no other motivation for effort. But of course, if results belie expectations that have to be endured, should not be construed as a lesson that all expectations should be eschewed. To plug in possibilities of grief. If atrocities occur ever now and then, as in politics, and we don't react to it because of frequency or fear, this numbness is infectious, and we become insensitive to everything in life. Fear of corona hangs over the head of all, like a sword hung by an unspun silk thread. If we build a temple for a convict that is disrespect for law and the Almighty as well, humor, when out of context, can be disastrous. What is serious must be viewed seriously. Dilution with humor can be calamitous. One good thing about COVID-19, if we can count blessings, is that it does not appear to affect the brain. If indeed a virus can affect the brain, say of those in power, who take decisions that affect vast sections of population, the effect will be totally disastrous. A terrorist is like a terrible virus, not easy to apprehend or annihilate. Who created the coronavirus and who gave it the urge, the motivation, inclination, power, and technical know-how to stealthily enter the human body and silently but surely eat up the vital organs therein? Is it the same God who created the human body? Mystery abounds. As institutions grow in size, from company, cartel, ghosts, etc., the finances at the disposal of controlling authorities swell to mind-boggling proportions and increase their power to propel their personal interests at public cost through surreptitious diversion of funds. Intelligence, unless accompanied by open mind, is of no avail. Some prefer to swim all the time in the stale and placid waters of lakes of bygone days, and dare not enter fresh waters even for a change. Talent at all times had a value, but this value is now multiplied manifold, with the advance of technology, leading to great, unheard of disparities in wealth and lifestyle in our society. Technology takes us closer to our friends and relatives residing far away, in lands foreign, at the cost of time available for neighbors living close at hand. Some go by sense, some by sentiment. The problem is oftentimes, sense and sentiment are at loggerheads with each other. Thanks to COVID, there are now more meetings on gadgets than in person, both on official and on social fronts. Maybe there is saving on fuel and time, and pollution is less. But the effectiveness of distant contact will diminish. Over time, with prolonged absence of contacts in physical proximity, more and more we will be talking to people whom we have never met before. That'll make a lot of difference to social life and sense of togetherness. The sooner a remedy is found from the shackles of COVID, the better it is for humanity. Or else. Unfortunately, religion, which should contribute to peace of mind, instead has been the cause of endless war and turmoil around the globe and for generations. Electricity is the largest single contribution by science to society. Its benefits are immense. But strangely enough, unsuspected danger lurks inside and fairly close by. Scientific invention and technological advances have both bright and dark sides. But during the reign of COVID, their contribution to free social contacts over long distances through effortless audiovisual communication facilities without personal proximity is immense. Villages were then thinly populated with large families. Now cities are thickly populated with small families. In some villages in India, there reportedly was a practice designed to put an end to misery from sheer old age, viz. by arranging a cold shower, applying native cooling oils to the head, and administering ice-cold coconut water to induce pneumonia. A malpractice, maybe. As age advances, energy level falls. At some advanced age, may vary from case to case, even getting up will look like a dexterous process, to be minutely planned and carefully executed. If you praise a man, he will try to live up to it. Tell him that, whenever you meet him, he will not leave you without a cup of coffee or cool drink. You can then be assured of his hospitality always. Confidence backed by reason and mellowed by caution is way behind confidence born of faith. A super senior citizen has not much past in his memory, no great present to be engaged in, and little to visualize with certainty about his future. A kind of suspended animation. Our social relationships are so fragile these days that we don't tell anybody anything that may not be palatable to him, however essential and crucial the matter may be. As per a report circulating in WhatsApp, a woman asked her husband to draw cash from ATM on her card. The ATM did not pay. The bank contended that ATM card was a non-transferable instrument. This view was upheld by court also. Now suppose I am old, sick or both, and go to ATM with a friend, and as the stairs are steep, ask him to go and draw cash using my PIN. No transfer of right is involved here, and the bank has to pay. Of course, if the friend runs away with cash, bank is not answerable. I feel somebody should go for a judicial review. It is irksome and may be futile to seek truth through the tough path of ceaseless inquiry. It is easy, comfortable, and Convenient to believe. The choice is yours. Babies are conceived in the dark, delivered in light, pass through light and shade, and end up in darkness. Senior citizens living with their children now are probably the last batch of their kind. In future, their destination in old age will be old age homes, for good or for evil. I beg to disagree is a polite way of conveying that my sharp intellect tells me that I am absolutely right and that without any hesitation, I can reject your view. A report in the Times of India of 10th Oct 2020. We are living in a cultural environment that would rather deny death and view it as a medical failure rather than accept it as a corollary of life. Needs rethinking. There is need for a change. Habits die hard, they say. But now, thanks to Corona, habits have changed rapidly across offices, shops, functions, festivals, and so on. Girls forget their parents some years after marriage, forget their husbands after the children are grown up. And these children forget their parents after they get married. Marriage effect. There can be no right without a person to dispense it. Who is that person for the so-called fundamental right? God or government? Government often fails and God is not approachable. Then what remains? Thank you for reading. A.